would you look at that? Clear across. I'm going about 5 miles an hour. Got some comments about me leaving a lot of hay behind. That's not entirely true. I am actually mashing the hay down with the tires of the tractor. And of course, you get the people that say, hey, your windrows are too wide and you're mashing the hay down and losing some. Well, I kind of agree with that. I am doing that. But the amount of hay that I'm leaving behind is negligible. This hay is over 3 tons to the acre material, so I'm okay with leaving 100 pounds to the acre. You know, it's not even going to be that. I mean, it's such a negligible amount. It's really just the fine dead stuff that gets crushed up. If this was nice green fluffy material, it wouldn't do that. But for the most part, what I think you're seeing, not so much the hay being left behind, but it's actually the mud coming up, and it's giving you the illusion that there's a lot of hay being left behind. But I'm not seeing what you're seeing. I mean, I understand there is a little bit being left behind because of the wheels running it over, but the amount of material that I've got going through this machine is just unbelievable. And here, I'll see if I can see what I can do. You can see, hopefully you can see. If I get off center, and I will get off center from time to time, but if I get off center, then yeah, I'll leave a little bit more than I want to be leaving. Hopefully I'm not getting off center too much. I do it a little more when I'm talking on the camera than I do on a normal day. But you know, you can see, I see what you're talking about. It's pretty much just mud and grass because this stuff has been laying for so long. I guess that kind of does look like there's a lot left behind. And right here there is some left behind because I'm baling massive windrows. I mean, when I say massive, I'm not joking. This is massive windrows. Most people don't bale hay like this, and that's why this Krone baler really shines for me, is because it can handle this kind of material and not even blink an eye. So, somebody's calling, so somebody trying to call me from California. They got to stop doing that, man. I get more and more calls from California. I don't talk to people from California. There's just not that many people out in California that I think I have anything in common with, that I know of anyway. And if you're from, I got a splinter in my finger. If you're from California and you're listening to me talk and you're like, you asshole, I'm from California and I farm here. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about, what is that, Thousand Oaks, California. That just sounds like I don't know. It sounds like a place that I don't want to visit. I don't know, Thousand Oaks. Damn, I had a little splinter in my finger. But anyways, yeah, I'm just taking you guys along for the ride. This piece of property is owned by a woman that used to be married to a farmer that caused me a lot of grief back about 15 years ago. The fella was, I think he was a mechanic of some sort, and he decided one day that he wanted to be a farmer, and he married this gal here, and I'm not sure where the money came from, but you know, he got credit, let's put it that way, whether it was from private source or whether it was from a bank. I'm not 100% sure, but he put ads in the newspaper, and you know, everybody's got a right to do that, to rent ground. And I'll make your farm look like this kind of thing, and it looked like Better Homes and Gardens. I mean, I think the photo was of that place right there, which belonged to his in-laws at one time. It's been sold off since. But, you know, you take a field of hay and then put that beautiful house in front of there, put that picture in the paper and say, hey, I'll make your house, I'll make your farm look like like this. And it is a beautiful place. I'll give her credit for that, man. She does a lot of upkeep. This is her place here. She's got horses. She's got kids, and you know, she's a nice gal. She's no longer married to the fella that used to farm. I don't know the details, and I don't ask because it's none of my business. But anyways, about 15 years ago, he put an ad in the paper that he was going to make everybody's farm in this area look like, you know, Better Homes and Gardens, the cover of Better Homes and Gardens. And the photo that he put in, I remember seeing it being like, oh my God, look at that. Well, he gained a lot of ground really quick, but the problem was he didn't know what he was doing. He had everybody convinced that he knew what he was doing, but the reality was he did not know what he was doing. So he went in and he tore up a bunch of ground that was in soybeans and corn and other row crops. That was when a place like this was full of, you know, this area here was full of corn and soybeans and wheat, barley, rye. But anyway, he tears it up and he puts in smooth brome grass. And the reason he did that was because if anybody knows anything about brome grass, is it can get old, you know, old and nasty, but it still retains a lot of color. And horses will eat brome, okay. But you can make that hay later and it'll still look really, really nice. So that was one thing that he did know, and he did use that to his advantage in making hay for people. People that did know him on a more personal scale or personal level knew that he provided really good quality Timothy hay. He was not planting Timothy hay, yet he continued to provide Timothy hay, and he boasted that he had made the Timothy hay. But the crazy part about it is he was purchasing all of his Timothy hay from a fella down the road here. And of course he was paying him pretty decent money for the hay, which was good, or they wouldn't have sold their... Now this is the time that all the telemarketers call me. They wouldn't have sold him the hay that he was trying to purchase. I mean, he paid his bill, and that's a good thing. But anyhow, he got himself into a property where the woman that owned it was a little more savvy than he was, and he made a mess. He tore it up, he planted smooth brome, but he wrote on the bill that she had paid, and he got her to pay for the seed. And she wanted Timothy, she didn't want smooth brome, but he planted smooth brome on the farm, and she didn't want that. And of course, then he wasn't going to take care of it right, so it turned into thistle, Canada thistle. Just made a whole nightmare of it. Then she contacted me and said, "Hey, do you think you could possibly maybe make the hay on my property this year, and next year do something a little different? We would like to have Timothy." I'm like, sure. I had a lot more time on my hands 15 years ago to do that sort of thing. I was still married to my wife, and I agreed to do it. And the next thing, I got a cease and desist order from a lawyer. I was like, what the heck is that about? Well, they were suing me for destroying his crop, even though the woman that owned the property had paid to put the seed in. But anyway, it was a big mess. He decides that I could kill the hay that was there, but I could never harvest one stalk of smooth brome grass that he had planted. No problem. I'll kill it with Roundup. I'll plant oats with Timothy in behind the oats, and we'll have us a real nice crop going. So that's what I did. And when I went to harvest the oats, they had an expert come out and do an analysis of the field to see if there was any smooth brome continued that had made it through the plowing, the chisel plowing, the Roundup, the chisel plowing, the disc, and then the eventual growth of oats. And again, we had a wet spring, so fuck you, damn thing. You know, driving nuts today. He's doing really good. Now I get into the shadows. So anyway, I should pay a little closer attention, I guess. It was a wet spring or summer, so I ended up having to respray the oats with Roundup again to kill them off so I could get them combined. And I did that. And of course the expert said that I was full of shit, that I was going to make money because I was going to cut the oats off and then bale it, and any of that, even though it was dead, but any of that smooth brome that was actively growing within the oats, I was going to be selling it, and I would have to let the grass rot, or the straw from the oats rot, because I would have made money off of the smooth brome. It was really ridiculous. Needless to say, 15 years ago, I had a really hot temper. Like a really hot temper. Like, such a hot temper that if you looked at me crossways, I'd snap your neck, shit down your throat, and call it a day. I was done. I told that woman, I says, listen, you take your troll dog looking ass back to that truck, you better get in it or you won't leave this property. And with that, things got real ugly real quick. I mean, when you get so angry, you see tunnel vision, there's nobody else around you but the target that you want to kill. That's the type of anger that I have. When I would lose control, that was it, I lost it. So only a few people on this planet have ever seen it, and no, my ex-wife was not one of them. My mother always wondered why I didn't snap her neck and, bury her in the back 40, but, I didn't do that. But anyway, about a week goes by, and I'm working, I'm working. Mowing hay, and a good friend of mine, John Pavlika, he's helping me out, and we got stuck in the mud. I was like, God damn, I was not having a good day. So I decided I would take the other tractor that was in the field and I would push it out with the other tractor. And, well, in the midst of this, I got two tractors stuck, and I was stuck there. I was like, what in the hell? So I'm a little upset, and the phone rings. I answer it. It says, hello, this is so-and-so from law offices of so-and-so. Is this Wesley? I was like, yes, this is Wesley. But I'm telling you, right now is not a good time to talk, because I'm not in a very good mood. I've got two tractors stuck, and I just don't want to talk about this. Well, this will only take a minute. I'm going to give you one last chance to destroy the crop that you had baled off the place. Well, that was it. I lost it on this guy. I told him, I said, I know your name and I know your law office. I know where you live. I am going to come to your house. I'm going to cut your throat. But before you die, I'm going to rape your wife and your children, and then kill them in front of you before I let you die. Click! And I hang up the phone. I'm like, uh-oh. What have I just done? My friend John is looking at me with these two saucer eyes. He says, you're a brutal motherfucker and you're going to jail. And I was like, yeah, you're probably right. Okay, you didn't hear anything. He's like, I didn't hear anything. I witnessed nothing. So I never got a phone call back for about 2 days. I get a letter in the mail. It's from law offices of so-and-so, from so-and-so's law office, They said, all charges are dropped. There's, all complaints are dropped. Go about your business, and that'll be the end of that. So I didn't go to jail. I did realize that I really need to bite my tongue sometimes. And over the last 15 years, I've learned that losing your temper is just not the solution to anything. It can get you in a whole bunch of trouble. And that's just the long and the short of it. So if you got a bad temper out there, just hold your tongue. Don't threaten to rape the guy's wife and kids and watch him, let him die after you're done. Because that's just really not even funny. So you just got a different side of OLF here that you probably never wanted to know, or never thought you'd ever know about. But yes, I do have a temper. I keep it well hidden, and it stays, and it's easy, I just don't let shit bother me. And this, my friends, is the reason we cannot grow corn and soybeans. There goes another deer right there. This place is so loaded with deer, it's not even funny. But anyhow, I just hit the 15-minute mark, and that's it for me. Thanks for watching. Please comment, rate, and subscribe for more. And please God, let me get my damn hay made. Thank you.